Good morning, students. So, welcome back to our biology class. And last class, we have discussed about in detail who given the equation for photosynthesis and what experiments they have conducted, and they have given the balanced equation for the process of photosynthesis. And I also said you plants synthesize the carbohydrates, not only the carbohydrates, they also synthesize the proteins and fats also. That's why we used to call plants as a autotrophs, isn't it? And I also discussed about, I have explained you about to test the presence of starch. And for that, you have understood the activity. Well, I hope so. And you have written the lab activity also very well. So, to test the presence of starch in leaves, we used to use the iodine solution. Okay, we used to use which solution? We used to use the iodine solution. So, iodine solution is mainly useful to test the presence of starch in plants, or to test the presence of starch in leaves, isn't it? So for that, the confirmation test, we require the iodine solution. And as I said you in the last experiment, after adding the iodine solution, if the leaf contains a starch, it changes into which color? It changes into bluish black in color. Blue black or bluish black in color. So after adding the iodine solution, if the leaves contains the starch, then it changes into bluish black in color. It indicates it contains the starch. So this is the how we used to test the presence of starch by using the iodine solution. Always remember, to test the presence of starch in leaves, we used to use the iodine solution. After adding the iodine solution, it changes into bluish black in color. This is what we have discussed in the previous class, isn't it? Now, here I have written the balanced equation, and based on this equation, we may create some questions. Now I am going to ask you some questions based on this photosynthesis equation. For example, so what are the end products? What are the end products during the process of photosynthesis? I repeat the question. What are the end products during the process of photosynthesis? What is the answer? The end products are glucose, oxygen, water. What are the end products? Glucose, oxygen and water. These are the end products which are formed during the process of photosynthesis. So this is one question. Now I am going to ask you another question. What are the raw materials required for the process of photosynthesis? What are the raw materials required for the process of photosynthesis. Now look here. Here I have written one question here. What are the raw materials required for the process of photosynthesis? So what are the raw materials required? Carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll, it is already present in the leaves. So what are the raw materials required for the process of photosynthesis? Means carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, these are the main raw materials which are required for the process of photosynthesis. Now, based on this equation, again I am going to ask you another question. Which gas is released? Which gas is released during the process of photosynthesis? Which gas is released during the process of photosynthesis? What is the answer? Oxygen. Okay, so oxygen is a gas which is released during the process of photosynthesis, isn't it? And another question. Name the green pigment which is useful for the process of photosynthesis. Name the green color pigment which is useful for the process of photosynthesis. What is the answer? Chlorophyll. Okay, I repeat the question. Name the green color pigment which is useful for the process of photosynthesis, and the answer is the green color pigment that is called chlorophyll. So like this, the questions we can create based on this equation. I hope you understood. So I repeat once again, this is your balanced equation, and plants utilize carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll, and they used to synthesize the carbohydrates, release oxygen and also water. This is about your balanced equation for the process of photosynthesis. And as you know, who given the equation for the process of photosynthesis? He is C.B. Van Til in the year 1931, and Robert Hill, he said that from the water the oxygen is released. Okay, these all topics we have discussed in the last class. So today in this class, now you know how to pose the questions and how the questions we may get based on the equation. So different scientists, again when they don't know about the photosynthesis, they have conducted so many experiments on photosynthesis. Here one scientist come here. So now we'll discuss about the another topic, air and photosynthesis. So in the previous classes we have learned some experiments related to the photosynthesis. Now I'm going to explain one experiment. That experiment will help you what is the role of air in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, role of air. What is the role of air in the process of photosynthesis? So several scientists have conducted so many experiments on photosynthesis. Now I am going to tell you one of the scientists. His name is Joseph Priestley. Joseph Priestley, he performed a series of experiments on the essential role of air on the growth of plants. He performed a series of experiments on essential role of air on the growth of plants during the process of photosynthesis. He performed a series of experiments in the year 1770. In the year 1770. So Joseph Priestley performed series of experiments on essential role of air on the growth of plants during the process of photosynthesis. So he is a person who conducted series of experiments in the year 1770. During his experiments, he discovered the oxygen gas. Joseph Priestley discovered the oxygen gas in the year 1774. Okay, in the year 1774, Joseph Priestley discovered the oxygen gas. He discovered the oxygen gas, but he don't know. He didn't coin the term oxygen. He discovered one living gas. That living gas is helpful for the animals to live. But he didn't coin the term oxygen. He just discovered the oxygen gas, and that gas was named by the scientist Lavoisier. Lavoisier is a scientist who coined the term. Who coined the term? Who coined the term oxygen? Who coined the term oxygen? So Lavoisier is a scientist who coined the term oxygen. Very simple. Joseph Priestley, during the series of experiments, he discovered one living gas. That gas helps the animals to live, and that living gas, that name was given by the scientist Lavoisier as the oxygen. So, who discovered the oxygen gas means Joseph Priestley. Who coined the term oxygen means the scientist's name is Lavoisier. The scientist's name is Lavoisier. So, what is the experiment conducted by the Joseph Priestley, and what that experiments explains us by conducting which experiment. So Joseph Priestley, he conducted experiment, and that experiment we used to call it as a bell jar experiment. What is the name of the experiment? Bell jar experiment. So he conducted the bell jar experiment, and during that experiment he discovered the oxygen gas and what is the importance of the air during the process of photosynthesis. I will explain you in the form of the picture, so listen carefully. So after listening, you have to make a notes along with the diagrams also. So first of all, now you listen the experiment. So I repeat once again. Who discovered the oxygen gas? Joseph Priestley. Who coined the term oxygen? He is a Lavoisier. Okay. Now Joseph Priestley, he conducted the bell jar experiment. During this bell jar experiment only, he discovered the oxygen gas. So what is the experiment and how he conducted and what is his conclusion, I will explain you in the form of the pictures. So listen carefully, make a notes, and you have to submit me. First of all, you listen this experiment. Students, now you see the picture, and as you know about photosynthesis, so plants utilize carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, chlorophyll, and releases oxygen. Carbohydrates are formed. This all you know. So here comes Joseph Priestley in 1770 performed a series of experiments that revealed the essential role of air and the growth of green plants. So, he is a person who discovered the gas oxygen. So, he conducted the bell jar experiment, and for that he used bell jar, candle, mouse, and mint plant. So he has taken bell jar, candle, mouse, and mint plant. So first of all, he has lighted the candle. He lighted the candle, and he closed the burning candle. Priestley observed that a candle burning in a closed bell jar soon, after some time, soon gets extinguished. Soon gets extinguished. It means what? Soon the candle put off. You can observe in the picture. Now what he done means, so again he just light the candle, and now he just introduced the mint plant, and now he closed the burning candle and the mint plant in a closed belcher, and he observed after some time the candle is not put off. So he got some idea again. He has taken another experiment. In that, he has just taken the one mouse, and he just lighted the candle, and he closed the candle, the burning candle, and the mouse, and he observed. What he observed means the mouse soon gets suffocated, and after some time the candle also put off. Again what he did, again he has taken belger, he just lighted the candle, one mouse, again he kept the mint plant, and he just closed the belger. After some time he observed. What he observed, the candle is not put off, and mouse also alive, there is no suffocation for the mouse, so everything is, it is perfect. So by this what he concluded means, Priestley concluded that the burning candle or the mouse both damaged the air. He placed a mint plant and a mouse in the same belcher, and he lighted a candle from outside. So Priestley found that the mouse was alive and the candle continued burning in the presence of the mint plant kept in the belcher. This shows that plants restore air what breathing animals and burning candles remove. So by this what he concluded means, Priestley's experiment concluded that gaseous exchange was going on in plants, and they give out a gas that supported burning and was essential for the survival of animals. I hope you understood. It means from the burning candle and the mouse, we release the carbon dioxide and we inhale the oxygen. So to live, we require the oxygen. So on the plants, plants take the carbon dioxide and release the oxygen. That oxygen is required for us to to stay alive. Okay, this is the Belger experiment which was conducted by the Priestley. So understood, no? This is about the Belger experiment. As you know, the gaseous exchange occurs through the stomata, usually present in leaves, as long as they are open. While plants also carry on gaseous exchange through loose tissues on stems, roots, etc. Okay, this is about the Belger experiment. By this experiment, he discovered the oxygen in the year 1774, and the name oxygen was coined by Lavoisier in the year 1775. This is about the Priestley's Belger experiment. Understood, no? Next, we'll move to the next topic.